Have you ever thought, when you cut an aluminum foil by half, and further on continuing like that, will you still be cutting, or will you just remain with a single particle that cannot be divided further? Hi, my name is Saitij, and in this video I am going to talk about structure of an atom and atomic models. Before talking about the structure of an atom and the atomic models, we need to know what is an atom. To be more specific, an atom is the smallest particle that forms all the matter. Now we may think, okay, all matter are just made of the smallest particle, that is an atom. But wait, there is more. There are also particles that are within the atom. But what are these particles? This reminds me about the subatomic particles. Let's see about that. So, there are three subatomic particles that form the atom. First is the electrons, which are negatively charged particles that revolve around the nucleus of the atom. Second are the protons, which are positively charged particles that are within the nucleus of an atom. The third particles are neutrons. As the name says, these particles are neutral, which means they don't have any charge. Now we have understood about the atomic structure and various particles that are within the atom, right? So now let's see how the structure of an atom varied during every era. Before all of these discoveries of an atom, Hindu and Greek philosophers have always wondered about the unknown and unseen form of matter. The idea of divisibility of matter was already considered in India, dated around 500 BC. An Indian philosopher named Maharishi Kanad postulated that if we go on dividing matter, which they call padarth, we shall get smaller and smaller particles, and ultimately we are left with the smallest particle, which cannot be divided further. Also, the ancient Greek philosophers named Democritus and Leucippus suggested the same thing as the Indian philosophers. Democritus was the disciple of Leucippus, and these people were thoroughly investigating on the smallest particles. But later on, Democritus took all the credits and was considered as the founder of smallest indivisible particles. He named this particle as atom. The word atom comes from the Greek word atomos, which literally means uncuttable. He also stated that atoms are of different shapes according to the elements. Let's take the example of fire and water. According to Democritus, atoms of the fire have sharp edges, whereas atoms of water have round edges. Now let's see the next model. During the year 1803, John Dalton, an English chemist, physicist, and meteorologist, stated the first atomic model, the billiard ball model. Dalton drew upon the ancient Greek ideas, and his theory, known as Dalton's atomic theory, stated that atoms are indivisible. Those of a given element are identical, and compounds are combinations of different types of atoms. This theory was based upon the law of conservation of mass and law of definite proportions, which were listed by a French chemist, Antoine Lavoisier. Further on, in the year 1904, J. Thomson, who was a British physicist, stated the second atomic model. This model was known as the plum pudding model or the watermelon model. According to him, an atom consists of a positively charged sphere with electrons embedded in it, and also it is electrically neutral because negative and positive charges are equal in magnitude. Later on, during the year 1909, Ernest Rutherford, who was a British New Zealand physicist, stated the second atomic model. He named his model as the Rutherford model. He stated that there is a positively charged center in an atom called the nucleus, which contains both the neutrons and protons within it, and the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Now let's see the third atomic model. During the year 1930, Niels Bohr, a Danish physicist, stated the third atomic model. His model was known as Bohr model. He had included the same theory which was stated by Ernest Rutherford, that protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus, but also stated that electrons revolve around the nucleus of an atom, but these electrons revolve in orbits or energy shells. Now let's see the fourth and the final model, the quantum mechanical model. This model was developed based on the theories of Werner Heisenberg, Louis de Broglie, and Erwin Schrödinger. They focused on the wave-like nature of the moving electron. Erwin Schrödinger developed complex equations called the wave functions. The wave functions can be used to calculate the energy of electrons, not only in hydrogen but in other atoms. The wave functions also describe various volumes or spaces where electrons of a specific energy are likely to be found. These spaces are called orbitals. Wave functions provide no information about the path of the electron but shows us the probability where an electron might be. Now let's have a recap about what we have learned in this video. We have learned about what is an atom, the subatomic particles, and the different models of an atom. Now we know there is a big difference in the structure of the atom during the era of Democritus till the era of Erwin Schrödinger. And yes, atoms are really small and are really complicated structures that form all the matter. Thanks for watching this video.